people.
Hi. Today on Girlfriends on Radio, we'll be talking about decision making.
Yeah, making godly decisions. We're going to be talking about what are the things you do? Do you talk to people? Do you talk to your older ones? Do you talk to your parents? What do you do basically in order to make a decision?
And with those decisions be life changing, how far those decisions will reach, etc.
Yeah, making decisions, we can't escape it. You make decisions and then your decisions make you.
And most of these decisions are made in your subconscious. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so just somewhere in the back of my mind. Okay, alright, that's alright, so join us in the studio as we talk about making decisions. Hey, no, 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 hey, no, no, no. Hello everybody, this is Girlfriends on Radio. Hi people.
Hello.
Okay. How was your week?
Good.
Mine was fantastic.
Really?
My week was very interesting.
All these interesting weeks.
So life is getting better. So
okay,
as we grow, it gets better. So that's why you're hearing those descriptions.
Okay, my week was actually really good. It was very hectic, but I know we survived. We survived. Okay, so today we will be talking about making godly decisions. Yes, it was. I thought my thoughts exactly when I first the topic, making the godly decisions. What do we do? How do we make a choice? How do we, when life presents us with a bucket of things to choose from, what are the things we think about in order to make those different decisions? I'll start with she.
Okay. I personally believe that every decision you make is prompted by your core values. What you hold dear, what motivates you, what keeps you going, what the standpoint from which you view life. So every decision you make is from that point of view. Is it that I want everybody to think I'm like this? Is it that I want to keep up with the Joneses? Is it that I want to be popular? Or do I hold integrity, character, professionalism? Are these the things that I hold dear to me? So every decision you make is actually governed by your core values, I believe.
I believe that your decisions should be one that you're going to be proud of. So if you're going to make a decision from the get-go, you should be responsible for your decision. Don't leave your decision making to someone else. Because at the end of the day, you can't, if it goes wrong, you can't go and say, hey, I'm angry with this guy, I'm angry with this lady because he made me make that decision. No, you have to decide that, okay, even if this person is suggesting this or that to me, is this what I really want to do?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to be responsible for it.
Alright.
Yeah.
You hear me?
I'll echo what Kelechi said. I mean, in making decisions, you must always think about the consequence. Think in terms of the consequence. Sometimes the consequence may not be something that you may be able to contemplate ahead of it, but as much as you can think in terms of the consequence. Then I also want to say that she was saying something about there's a standard by which you view things. I would call that your paradigm. There's a way that there's a measuring line, and sometimes I think life throws you way out of that control area. Sometimes it throws you curveballs and you're just swinging and swinging, and you have to make decisions that fast. For instance, maybe you have a sick member of your family, you have this one, you have a demand, all of those things can happen and it can affect your decisions. But one thing that I always try to be conscious of is to know that decision is mine to make, and whatever I land on, it's my choice. I made it, and I must be ready for whatever comes out of it.
In terms of making sure that we all own our decisions, I'll give a very short example of a decision I made some years back, which has made me who I am today. Initially, my first year in school, I was actually part of medicine physiology my first year. You know, but all the way, like, really, not really, but I had always wanted to study architecture. But my parents would not have it. That was the time when it's either you're a medical doctor or a lawyer or an engineer. So, but I realized it was my life to live. I had to make the decision to change or not to change. For me, one of the things I had to do was I spoke to this person, older people who I felt were of, as Shay said, my similar core values, similar perceptions, and I said this is what I wanted to do, and it gave me some advice. But at the end of the day, I made the decision and I changed, and I'm an architect today. I'm happy. It made my life so much different. So I'll let who's gonna give it an example?
I think we should actually go on a musical break.
Okay, alright. Let's go on a musical break.
We'll take the turn when we
will
come
be right back.
I remember this time when I went for this job interview, and I got to the interview place and I did not go with I forgot to take my credentials.
Are you ready for the job?
But it's really, I know this story makes me look bad. I'm serious. Anyway, so I got there and we're about to do the interview, and then I just realized, okay, I realized on my way there that I hadn't taken my credentials, but I decided to go anyway because I was running late. So by the time I got there, I met a friend who was like, oh, we're talking. I said, I even forgot to bring my credentials. The guy was like, are you serious? That's as in, quickly go and get it. I said, quickly go and get it. I said, okay. I listened to him and I went to get it. By the time I came back, it was too late.
Hey.
I lost money on the way and all that. By the time I got back, they said, Ash, what's wrong with you? Come back tomorrow. So by the time we did the interview the next day, they didn't ask for our credentials at all. And I was very upset that imagine I didn't even have to go home because I was rattled.
But what did they ask?
I became angry with the guy.
Because you listened to him.
Because I decided that
you were gonna do it no matter what.
I was going to go without it, and maybe it's not important. I'll just tell them I can pay me some other time. But I decided to listen to my friend, and I kept married to him. But I'm saying that at the end of the day, I was being irresponsible because actually it was my decision. And I decided to leave this decision making to someone else, and then now I'm going to blame this other person for my decision. So it just goes to a point of being responsible
for whatever decision.
Even if you're going to agree to take someone's decision, you should be responsible.
Okay, all right. So let's have an example.
Okay, well, for me personally, I've been reading about this lady that returned millions. She found dollars and she returned it, and she got a raise of 7.5, and people are talking. People are talking and abusing her, saying no. She works in her. So anyway, sometime last year, I did a job. I'm a freelance. I did a job, and when the contract was over, it was over. And the next thing, I got an alert. When I looked at the alert, I started laughing. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Quickly, I called the people. I said, "Please, what's your account number? I need to return your money. You people credited my account, and my contract with you is over and all that." And they were now telling me, "Oh, thank you for your honesty and all that." I was just laughing in my mind. I was like, it's not about you, whether I'm honest or not, because actually it's about me and my life and what's going to happen if I decide to keep that money.
They credited with an additional zero.
They credited the
when
amount.
she wasn't supposed to be.
I wasn't. Contract in the 4th month.
And then.
So I was like, hello. So I said, I returned their money. Eventually, I was able to return their money and all that. And I was quite happy with the fact that, and all that. It's not as if I didn't have projects I wanted the money, but it wasn't my money. My contract with them was over and all that. And the thing I was thinking was that, strangely enough, I'm sure it's happened to other people, but maybe they didn't return it and all that. But I was like, as far as I'm concerned, I didn't want that kind of gracious favor. It wasn't. It would have been stealing. So I returned it and all that. So when people are saying that you are dumb and all that, it wasn't a matter of being dumb. I knew the reason why I returned the money, and it wasn't mine. It would have been stealing.
It still comes back to who you are and your core values.
I mean, it's always like that. I mean, as she was talking, I just remembered something way back in school, and this was a choice about someone to date, and the guy was like, in fact, like someone senior, like a senior.
And I know actually make that choice. I really like this guy. No, I will not like this guy.
No, it's a choice.
You can't. It's a choice.
I think it's a choice. It's a choice.
I'm not loving you, men.
I mean, like it was way back, and I was like 17 or something at the time, and that I had always, people had come at me, different people had come at me for different reasons, you know, saying all sorts of things, and this was the first time that there was this was the first time that there was like intense pressure. Even like someone senior that I respected said, go at it, you're old enough to begin to date, you're old enough to begin, I know. And I said to myself, I said, okay, alright, the first point of call is to go and pray. That's what I said. Oh God, is this the right way? Is it? I heard absolutely nothing, and I'm like, you know, they say, okay, when somebody, at the end of the day, I sat down and I looked. I had to draw the line by myself, draw the matrix by myself, look at the person's life, look at my life, and make a decision by myself. And it was only after I made the decision that I actually felt that quote unquote peace, and that we typically say.
So what was the decision?
I did not.
She didn't date.
I did not.
After all that,
no, but then I also had so many other times, like the example I was giving when we were off air about somebody that was staying with me, and then my folks said, oh, don't continue to let her stay with you, blah blah blah. And at the end of the day, I took a contrary decision. I didn't even tell my parents that she was staying with me. I had to so has she left? Yes, she has left, but she was still with me.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, they said, I'm glad you didn't listen to me.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Yeah, I was lying. Abraham lied. Joseph lied. Yeah, who else lied? David lied. No, David's lie was bad.
It was also a decision.
Yeah, it was exactly.
He decided to send husband to the battle line, to the battlefront. So he decided. I know that we've all talked about making good choices. I gave an example of good choice, but have you ever made a bad choice, a bad decision? So like, okay, Shame this. Yemi, tell us.
Okay, so in secondary school I was the good girl, and every time, like in fact, during we'll be praying, I'll be raising up my hands. People will come and pour sand on my head. I'll still be worshiping. I'll not open my hair. You know, so everybody used to say all sorts of things. So when I got to, I think it was JS3, I said, I know that this good girl thing has stopped. So I mean, like the indices were the songs you knew, the dances you knew, all of that. So my holiday, I'll sit down by the radio, I'll write every song, no scrub, what's it called, dog song, everything. Then I'll go to school and I'll start singing the song on my own. And you know, and I just deviated. In fact, during our Suya night, used to have Suya night in school there. I went to go and dance with a boy. It was unheard of. He was unheard of in my school.
Okay,
I put my leg across the leg of the boy and I was dancing just to prove the point.
Let's hear an example of a bad decision from Kelechi.
Okay, bad decision. Now I think back and I'm thinking I've always been a good girl.
What's all this good girl stories? Please.
I can't think of any, and I know I've made bad decisions, of course. Okay. I can't think of anyone that I'm willing to share.
Are you for real?
You know?
Well, basically, what she's trying to say is that, you know, we talked about decisions that we've made, but you know, sometimes people don't want to think whenever they have decisions to make, and unfortunately for us, that is the part where the work is. You have to actually sit down and think. Yemi consciously decided and thought that yes, my good days being a good girl are
over. Like it was a conscious decision.
Yes. I didn't talk about the consequences.
So she made that decision. So the thing is that every decision we have to make, we actually have, there should be an element of thinking. Sometimes even when we think there's no thinking involved,
subconsciously we do.
There actually is thinking. Now let me give you an example. Okay, I was working in a place, and after a while, it was a startup and all that. We were doing everything, but after a while, we were not getting paid, and I was enjoying it and all that. But after a while, I realized that I can't continue to work for charity. I wished the guy well and all that. I had to do an interview and I had to leave. So eventually I left and all that. So it was a good decision for me, but maybe for him it was a bad decision. But the eventually the business didn't work out the way it should have worked out and all that. But I was like, after a while, and then the thing is that I felt he was taking us for granted because we were all actually with our whole hearts, we were actually involved in doing the business, and then of course you have businesses where people, they rob you blind and all that, but we were not doing that. Maybe some things were happening and all that, but we were actually busy doing what we're supposed to do. But the guy he didn't make any effort to compensate us and to take care of us. So after a while, I and some other people, we left.
Okay,
that's not a bad decision.
It's not a bad decision.
Okay, so what I'd like us to round off with is, in 3 simple steps, what do you do in making a decision? What are the steps you first say? Okay, like Yemi was like, oh, I first have to go and pray. But individually, I'm sure we all have different ways we look at things to make a decision about. So, Kelechi, in very briefly, this is what we wrap up with. How do you?
If I have a major decision to make, okay, I first decide that this is a major decision and it has to be made. It has to be, because sometimes you don't want to decide about something, you just want to leave it. So you decide, okay, I want to make a decision now. And then I pray. I'm a Christian. So I pray. I pray about it, because I have to say, the Bible says, commit your plans to the Lord and He will bring your desires to pass. So I pray about it, and then I listen to my environment. I listen to people.
That's so key.
I listen to younger people, older people, TV. I'm conscious of the fact that I'm making this decision, and then I run whatever. Third step, fourth step. I just decide. Because sometimes you spend so much time deciding,
thinking of how to decide, and then
and then you never make a decision. You just decide and trust God that, this thing, all things are working for my good, man.
Okay.
Let me quickly chip in. I just realized that some of the bad decisions you've made, sometimes you can see somebody going in that direction and you can actually tell them that I've been there before. I'm not saying you should do what I did, but this is what happened to me. Yeah. So from my experience, you are left. Then they can help. It should help them make a better decision.
People.
Round up. But your decision is who you are, because there's so many. I know there are major. It's not every time that I get a chance to sit down and think about decisions. But you have to decide who you are.
Core values.
Core values. As she said earlier. Who are you? Are you a loving person? Are you a caring person? Or are you a bad person? No, you just decide and do what goes with your core value. And don't spend too much time.
Okay. All right. Okay. So sadly, we've come to the end of the show for today. Follow us on Facebook, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, girlfriend006.
Subscribe to
our YouTube channel so you can see what we all pretty look like.
And give us feedback.
Feedback. We'd love to hear from you. So make a comment on our Facebook page, and have a great week ahead, everybody. Take care.
Bye.